In 1981, a young woman named Cindy James lived alone in Vancouver, Canada. She was a quiet, responsible nurse with no enemies, at least none that she knew of. But one night she received a chilling phone call. When she answered, there was only silence. Then after a few seconds, a whisper, "I see you." The call ended. Cindy was unnerved, but she tried to dismiss it as a prank. But the calls continued. Some nights the voice would breathe heavily. Other nights it would hiss threats. "You'll be sorry. Soon." Then strange things began happening. She would come home to find her furniture moved, her phone lines cut, or her porch lights shattered. One night she found her dog tied up with a cord around its neck, alive, but barely. Terrified, Cindy went to the police. They investigated but found no evidence of a stalker. No fingerprints, no signs of forced entry. Some officers began to think Cindy was imagining things. But then it got worse. One evening, Cindy's friends found her unconscious in her own backyard, with her hands and feet tied. A nylon stocking was wrapped tightly around her throat. She had scratches and bruises all over her body, but she had no memory of what had happened. Over the next 7 years, the torment continued. She received nearly 100 silent phone calls. She was attacked multiple times, once found with a knife stabbed through her hand, pinned to the floor. Each time, the police found no evidence of an intruder. Some detectives even suspected Cindy was doing it to herself. Then, in 1989, Cindy vanished. 2 weeks later, her body was found in an abandoned lot. Her hands and feet were tied. A needle mark was found on her arm, and an overdose of morphine was in her system. The police ruled her death a suicide, but her family and friends refused to believe it. How could she have tied herself up? Who had been calling her all those years? To this day, the case remains unsolved.